Everything. I dedicated my life to this project and it was life-changing.
What was for me, VOS is an incredible adventure for me and also for the whole team, because we start a launcher in France from scratch, so that's just incredible for everyone. I'm Florian, Head of Communication at Venture Orbital Systems.
I'm Milan Saidi Beckerman, the Chief Operating Officer of VOS and also a co-founder.
Yes, I have a message for the space community. Thank you very much for the excitement that you're showing to us, to the whole team.
Thank you for following us and also to support our adventure every day.
When you do render from a launcher, from Zephyr, from Boreal, when you comment, when you tweet on a company, on technical specs, and when you discuss on that, it's really incredible to see this excitement. It drives us every day toward our path to Zephyr. So yeah, thank you very much. Even if you're a small company today, that's really amazing to see your support. So in this slide, you will see a ton of different things. You will see, of course, the last progress on Zephyr,
The speech of our CEO,
the progress on Navier, and on the whole progress from our department.
and also a little surprise.
So it's time, let's go.
Hello, I'm Stanislas Maximin, Chief Executive Officer of Venture Orbital Systems. You may ask yourself, why did VOS invite politics, press, industrial partners, space agencies, and host a live event for the space community today? Well, last year we set up VOS in a French city 45 minutes from Paris, named Reims. We settled in our own office back then, in the middle of the Champagne vineyard. But even I could not predict how fast we were going to grow. Today, we are 30 full-time engineers and commercials, 2 times more than planned. In 2022, we will be 70. And our very first office didn't have enough room to support this growth. Also, it would have been very difficult to put a launcher in it. That is why, for the past 6 months, we've been searching for our new headquarters, doubling our office space, and also featuring a 1,200 meter squared factory. Welcome to VOS headquarters, and welcome to the first micro-launcher factory in France. Good evening, everyone. It is with great emotion that I am before you today. This day is a major milestone in the history of VOS. But before I begin, I'd like to thank all my team. We are all working hard to accomplish our vision, and it is far from being easy. But you give me the opportunity every day to work with brilliant people. Venture Orbital System is a project of a lifetime, many lives even. This project was born 3 years ago from a necessity, that of using all possible means to face the challenges of our Earth and civilization, climate change, hunger, migration. It was also born from a passion, space. And we were convinced, already at the time, that new satellite applications, coupled with new small satellites, would play a major role facing these new challenges. However, even today, despite hundreds of promising projects, sending small satellites into space is still a long, expensive, and painful process. That's why we are developing Zephyr, our micro-launcher capable of sending up to 70 kilograms to space, and all the services adapted to the small satellite market. Defining our vision took time, but it was accelerated significantly last year. We were able to win an R&D contract with the French Space Agency for the development of our rocket engine, Navier. We raised funds in the middle of the pandemic to recruit our full-time team from the best aerospace companies. We were able to settle here in Reims, 45 minutes from Paris, a little over a year from now. We created our first subsidiary, Astreos, and we signed our first customers. We continued to recruit extraordinary people, growing to about 30 people, raising funds again, developing a rocket engine in less than a year, and starting prototyping launcher components accompanied with several test campaigns. We have signed technological and industrial partnerships to make our Zephyr a competitive product and bring it to flight as quickly as possible. And we have been victims of our success. Our first offices, which we had to keep for more than 2.5 years, turned out to be too small for our growth. And that is why we are here today. We are extremely proud to inaugurate this first factory. This 1,600 meters squared factory represents our growth and ambition. Our growth also continues on other levels. We doubled our sales teams and will triple them next year. We signed our first customers, whom I warmly thank for the trust. We validate our model, which is unique in the world. Because at VOS, we don't just develop a launcher to compete with dozens other companies. We are developing a complete and sustainable infrastructure which really open access to space to anyone. Universities, laboratories, startups, large groups, countries with or without knowledge of the space world. Next year will also be pivotal. We are recruiting about 40 more people from all experience, background in all of our departments. Our project is industrial, and if this factory will see for the next 3 years several prototypes and the first versions of Zephyr, we will open in 2024 a new production site, which will allow us to release dozens of Zephyr per year. If we develop our vision around the world, we are proud to grow it here in France. Our country has a unique heritage in space and a new strong dynamic. We embody this dynamic. We are moving at phenomenal pace, and this allows us to be the spearhead of the development of micro-launchers in France. Our president has announced that he wants a French micro-launcher by 2026, and ours will fly way before that, by 2024. Thanks for your presence, for your trust, and for your support. We are VOS.
Hello, I'm Nicolas Derry. I'm the head of the propulsion department, and it's our time to show you what our department has been working on since last year. But what our department oversees? At VOS, propulsion department oversees the development of the engine, the motor pumps, and all the fluidic aspects, such as the delivery of the ergols from the tanks to the engine. Currently, we are 7 in the team. To be more specific on the mission, some are working on the thermal aspect of the engine, some others are working on the injection aspect, and a few work on all the mechanical aspect of the engine. Now that you know our department, it's tech time. Let's talk about Navier. Navier is our engine. It has a thrust around 30 kN and is 3D printed with Inconel 718. It is propulsed with a couple of ergol, which is RP1 and LOX. RP1 is a kerosene, and LOX is liquid oxygen. Our engine is filled with motor pumps. These motor pumps are a bit different to the turbo pumps, and they are a bit easier for nano launcher. Now let's dive into our short-term milestones. In 2022, we will have our first hard-firing test for the Navier engine. It will be filled with pressurized ergols without motor pumps for this test. And in 2023, we will have a second test for Navier, with this time our motor pumps.
Hello, I'm Yann, and I'm the head of the Launcher Design Department. Let me show you what my department has been working on the last year. At VOS, the Launcher Design Department is in charge of the architecture and the performance of Zephyr, along with the mission analysis and the trajectories. First, we take into account our clients' requirements to know how and where they want to reach the orbit. Then, we built a launcher with all the systems and equipment required to fulfill this mission. Finally, we make sure that all the technical departments are consistent and well integrated in the launcher. Today, we are 6 coworkers in the department, but the team will grow fast next year with the diversification of our skills and capabilities. Our launcher Zephyr is 1.2 meters in diameter and roughly 12 meters tall. It is designed to bring 70 kilograms of payload, mainly to sun-synchronous orbit. The department is already working with industrial partners on the development and prototyping of Zephyr parts. Recently, we have received a kerosene tank prototype made of carbon fiber filament winding. The next year will be mainly focused on the prototyping and qualification of the launcher systems and components. After the conduction of all these tests, we will be able to run the qualification of Zephyr itself to make sure that it will stand on the launch pad in 2024. That's it for the launcher design department. Thank you for your attention.
Hey, I'm Bastien Matic. I'm the head of Electronic and Software System Department, also called ESS. But what does our department do at VOS? Basically, the ESS team designs the avionics to control the launcher on the ground and perform guidance from liftoff to mission success. Currently, we are only 5, but we are the fastest growing team in the company, and by 2022, we will double. Presentations made, let's talk about electronic and software. What is ESS? It's the nerve center of the launcher. Perception with sensor and inertial measurement units, decision-making process with the onboard computer and its algorithm, and control with thrust vector actuators, valves, and pyro mechanism. Now let's dive into our short-term milestones. Next year, main components will be selected and tested through our specific Ironbird, the Golden Puffin. Flight software and its algorithm will be coded. But that's not all. Due to the central role of the ESS, we will support other departments on their different tests until our first final countdown of Zephyr on the launch pad in 2024. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you for following our live. I hope you had a great time. It was a very important moment for us. See you next time.